You take off another edition of the Self-Love Show. This is a special Sunday abridged pre-championship game edition. Tonight, this morning or this afternoon, we're covering fathers' rights, specifically foundationally Black Americans' rights and or wrongs. Pick up some production. You can cue the show when you're ready. Check your mute.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe. Let's get them in the building. Tweet it.
In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, Wine 5. We proceed, which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be clear and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child. For said the master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self-Love Show is a lesson, not a lecture.
And even in this instance, if I could be of service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So people have been trying that situation together out there. Well, we appreciate you all for dialogue, and we should have a guest. Should be great situation.
Fantastic. Yeah, definitely should be a greater situation. I would concur. Yeah, they're telling me it's on my end, but I think I got everything fixed over there. Appreciate y'all in the chat. Elvis, appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Schizo. Hey, I don't know if they did some updates or what, but I had you. Did you change your name on your phone recently?
No.
Yeah, because I had you in as Skits, but it was coming up under your government name. But then all of a sudden, it's every time you text me, it's coming up as Schizo the Lyrical. So I'm like, all right, yeah, right. It's crazy.
So it done went back.
Right, way back. All right. Now that we got the tech all teched, you guys, it's like literally like 9:57 here in Inglewood, Long Beach, Inglewood, Compton, Long Beach, Inglewood, West Side. Never could do it, stuff. I just yeah.
That thing, whatever they were doing.
Yeah, you could do it. I'm from the South Side. My fingers don't do that. So, all right.
I can't do it with this hand though. It's not.
That's your offhand?
Yeah.
All right. Well, what to expect today, y'all, on the Self Love Show. We're going to breeze through this. We have our more growth and development video, tattoo tyranny. As always, Self Love and I will unpack our government at work, and we'll thumbs it up if it's DSO, and we'll thumbs it down if we think it's tyrannical. Then, of course, your mind is a muscle, and it's a terrible thing to waste. So we have our riddle, aka the dome teaser out there. So we'll give you the top of the riddle at the top of the show, and then we'll give you the key or the solution at the end of the show. Feel free to type the answer in if you can process information, if you're smart, if you can get them in and out of the huddle. Go ahead and type in the answer to the riddle into the chat, and we'll give you your kudos accordingly. Today's topic, foundationally Black Americans, just fathers in general. This is B1 around here. Fathers, rights, and wrongs. We do expect to have a professional with 20 years experience in social work, actually has a master's degree in it, but all of his knowledge, lessons, not lectures. He's been in the field doing this type of work within the community. So big ups. Big in a yo. Announcements though, but first, Self, you got any announcements out there?
I would love for everybody to say happy birthday to my daughter, Gabrielle. Her birthday's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow? All right. Happy birthday, Gabby. That's what's up. Wow. Oh, and don't let me forget, Wordsmith's Final Words. That's my personal favorite part of the whole shebang, and that's where this brother's going to summarize tonight's show in metaphysical prose, right off the rip, right off the top of the dome. You got any other announcements, bro?
No, that was it. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, what he said. Also, you guys, we need about 44 more subscribers. And then myself and my lovely better half, we're actually going to jump from an airplane once we get to the 499 subscriber mark. So if you guys want to see me poop my pants potentially, piss myself out there, let's go ahead and get this done while my heart can still, handle the stresses. This is a fear project. We're facing it. Fear is an illusion. Happy birthday to one of my big brothers, Miliak. His birthday was yesterday.
Yeah, happy born day.
Happy birthday to Roxy. You met Roxy. She used to come by the crib with Tasia. She actually introduced me and my better half. Her birthday is today.
Oh, happy born day.
Happy belated to Aunt B, regulator.
Yeah.
I think his birthday was 2 days ago. Yeah.
27.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy birthday to Illa. His birthday is on the 31st. And then, of course, DBD.
23rd.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy birthday, Stace Dude. And last but not least, my lovely niece, Davi. Her birthday is, don't want to get this wrong and butcher it. A lot of birthdays, huh, Seth?
Wow, it's so many right up in here.
Man.
What's 9 months ago?
Yeah, what month would that be?
Need to figure that part out because there's something going down in that town.
Davi's birthday is actually tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, with Gabby's. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. So I got me a mnemonic device out there. Your mind is a muscle, y'all. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to waste. Yeah, y'all. So let us know where you're checking in. We got Yakira Levi says, "What's your excuse?" Oh, don't get me started. Says peace. Dr. Roos said family. Yakira's checking in from Smoke Park, from the smoke.
We was asking if they could hear.
What's that?
So we was asking if they could hear.
Yeah. Dr. Roos said she's not getting back into the office.
Talk about the mayor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Kira says back to the mayor. Oh, I didn't see that hubbub about the mayor. Back to the mayor. What's wrong with her office offering high school community service hours for working with the mayor's campaign?
And because
Is that what's going on?
I think it wasn't community service hours. They were offering them class credit, course credit, I think is the issue.
Oh, so this is something you mentioned when I was having tech issues.
Yeah. I was saying what's going on here since last week. They Mayor Lightfoot, the Inspector General's office is looking into ethics issues.
Larry Light Blunt.
Mr. Burns, aka Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely not an AKA. Like a damn animal cracker. Can we say the mayor looks like? I can say the mayor looks like an animal cracker.
Yeah, it looks like Mr. Burns out there.
Yeah, Mr. Burns. Smithers.
Yep.
And then happy belated. We got another late January. Yakira said my birthday was last weekend.
Oh wow, happy birthday. I do remember that. I sent a happy birthday.
That's what's up. So you guys, if you are baby mamas out there, or baby's daddies out there, we don't like to say that here, but I'm saying it, just for entertainment purposes. Anybody who works in this field, any legal, paternal rights type things, we're going to unpack this topic. You guys know we're about lessons, not lectures, and we don't bash people here on we don't bash our people here on the self-love. So generally, we'll call it like we see it, but we do it respectfully, and we ask you guys to do the same. We don't come out on public forums and do what self.
To degenerate our whole situation out there. But
go ahead.
For the record, let it be stated that trolls get holes around here. So you come up in here trolling.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you said that. Phone lines are open. If you guys know my personal phone number, feel free to text your questions, or you can call that line. Otherwise, you can dial 424-900-6945. That number's what?
Troll free.
Yeah, once again, it's pinned in the chat. That number's 424-900-6945, and that number's what?
Absolutely, positively troll free.
We'd make you famous. Yeah, but also this is an interactive chat, so please, if you got any questions or comments, pop it in there. It really helps keep the show moving. So we appreciate you guys, ladies and gentlemen, for your interactions here. All right, I'd say it's been plenty yapping for me. Let me turn it over to this brother so he can handle his business.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Self-Love Show. Today we're unpacking father's rights or wrongs, and wrongs. It's going to be a great conversation. Like he said, it's going to be a short version of the normal show. As always, we have a very important video we need you to watch, which is the Silverback Moral Growth and Development platform that we are building the Self-Love Nation off of. But before that, we have the Self-Love Show quote of the day. One father is more than 100 schoolmasters. Once again, one father is more than 100 schoolmasters.
Flesh.
George Herbert. Silverback Moral Growth and Development platform. Number one, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number two, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And three, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influence. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen. Number 10.
Stripped of his gun and badge. That's the question being asked after he used dead force not once or twice, but 4 different times.
Say that one more time. That video was running.
Said, y'all heard that video?
We heard the next video.
Oh, nope.
We don't hear it now.
Protect our, number 10 is protect our women, children, and men by any and all means necessary.
Facts. This is a father's show. And tonight's show is not being sponsored by Uncle Nearest. If you're looking for a black-owned company that produces some fine scotch, it's a great gift for dads out there, huh, Self-Love?
Very tasty.
They are not paying us for this. And I got my monogram thing. I got all set up for char today. We'll talk about it after we get back. You see that, Self-Love? It's got an M on there, and then it says 9 mils. I don't know. Somebody said it's too early to start with scotch. And I said, I'm invoking the Mills Bill and all of my privileges.
We'll explain them someday.
Yeah. It may be scotch. It may be tea. So, but big ups to everybody, and big ups to Uncle Nearest. We're speaking it into existence. Go ahead and sponsor this show. All right, Self. All right. Last week we covered, what is the alkaline diet with naturopath, somebody you booked, Gamal Hakim. What say ye, Self?
Oh, man, that was chock full of information. If you want to learn about alkaline diet and such, I advise you to just go ahead and check it out. Check it out.
Yeah, he was almost like a savant with that information. Like, that's his wheelhouse. It's nice when somebody's actually passionate, about what they're doing, and he's actually put the work in and it's been out there healing people and treating.
Dope MC too.
Say that.
The dope MC as well.
Oh, really? I'm gonna have to get some of his links and see if we can get that involved. Yeah. So big ups and thank you, Gamal. For appearing on the Self Love Show. We appreciate that. And you guys check that show out. It is, like Self said, it's loaded with information out there. But tonight's topic is fathers' rights and wrongs. Before we go there, though, Self, did you see the video, Serial 12? Yeah? Serial 12?
Sounds familiar. I'm usually unplugged.
Well, big ups to Productions and Inside Edition. We're using this for entertainment purposes and education purposes. Fair use.
Should this state trooper be stripped of his gun and badge? That's the question being asked twice, but 4 different times. The shootings were ruled to be justified. Wait till you see what happens when Lisa Guerrero tracked the trooper down.
In a crisis, cops are often faced with the difficult decision of using deadly force. But today, this state trooper is under fire for his use of deadly force. Not once or twice, but 4 different times.
Shots fired. Send EMS.
Yes, it's true. Pennsylvania trooper Jay Splain has shot and killed 4 people in the line of duty since 2007. Autumn Krause says she was appalled to find out her brother, Andy Duwanchek, was the 4th fatality.
He's a
This
murderer.
guy should not have still been employed with a weapon.
Prior to her brother's death in 2021, Splain also fatally shot Joseph Rodkowicz, Charity Tome, and Anthony Ardo. This dashcam video obtained by Inside Edition shows the dramatic moment Splain shoots at Anthony Ardo's car, killing him.
They got right out of their cars and they just started shooting. They didn't even give him a chance.
Anthony Ardo's sister, father, and stepmom say they struggle to make these killings. What was your reaction when you found out that Trooper Splain has shot and killed 3?
2, don't you say, wait a minute. Should have stopped after the second one, not 3 and not 4.
Trooper Splain was cleared in all 4 shootings. He works out of this post behind me and patrols the mostly rural roads around Jonestown, Pennsylvania, about 2 hours outside of Philadelphia, an area where shootings are rare. Were often troubled, used drugs, and suffered from mental illness. Matthew Weisberg and Anthony DiGiacomo represent the Ardos in a lawsuit.
I'm blown away that after 4 killings, this officer is still in the field.
When we tried to speak to Trooper Splain,
stay in the car. Sit down.
He called in backup, and we got pulled over. He's in the car behind us right now. He has our IDs. We've identified ourselves as journalists, but we've been told not to get out of the car. This trooper questioned us, but we also had some questions for him. Sir, we're just trying to talk to Trooper Splain.
He's not here, not available.
The families of his shooting victims have questions for him, sir.
He asked me to pass along that he has nothing to say to you now or ever.
The district attorney who cleared Trooper Splain in the 2 most recent shootings is actually married to a Pennsylvania state trooper.
With the current DA, there's absolutely a conflict of interest.
We tried to speak to Lebanon County District Attorney Pierre Hess-Graff. Is it a conflict of interest for you to have been investigating those deaths? I haven't. After not 1, not 2, not 3, but spam. Opinion. Should Officer Splain
No.
The DA says she followed her policy and that her trooper husband played no role in the investigation. Meantime, the family of Anthony Ardo lawsuit against Trooper Splain, who denies any wrongdoing.
I wonder what
it's video.
The statistics are on
state shooting their weapon, period.
Well, most officers go a whole career without even taking it out of their holster. The old school officers. It's definitely
Let alone kill 4 people.
right. Man, my internet sucks right now.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. I don't get it. I don't understand. That's hearing. It might have been me. You thinking your internet?
Yeah, I don't know, but I could tell you this though, Self. They sound like a everyday gang. You know, it's hypocritical. 12, they want the community to come forward and cooperate and talk and give answers and talk and talk and talk and talk.
Right.
But you see what they do for one another. They show up with guns and don't talk.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, 4
sickening.
killings and
Sickening.
yeah, it's sickening.
I mean, that one was right on camera. How he decided that it was two.
Ace said,
"Hey, you know what I mean? He just walked up and was at. He didn't even shoot through the side window. I'm like, how did he decide that it was okay to shoot? Then
yeah,
looked like a hit to me.
Hey, chat, does one of us need to relog? Is it me? Please let me know. Ace2X said, what if Officer Pookie was able to murder 4 people? Well, if that guy was some sort of melanated, some sort of colored, I'd say, I mean, we have evidence of that in Memphis. Not only would they be immediately fired, but they'd be indicted and charged with kidnapping and murder.
Absolutely.
You know, Mimi said Officer Pookie wouldn't have been able to murder 1. Facts. And he was murdering pink people out there.
Yeah.
Good white people, you know, drop dead, gorgeous, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, good white folks.
See any of that, but okay.
A said they don't have rules for lethal force. Yeah, the rule is if you fear for your life, which I've been saying Pookie should be using that as a defense. I'd be walking down, say, 76 in Colfax. You know what I mean? I'd fear for my life. Y'all know where I am? Yeah, big ups. Big ups to 76 in Colfax. You know, if that's your tip, I'm not tripping. I'll be in the city soon. I don't need no problems. But all right. All right, Self.
You already know it's yeah.
All right, in the chat, if you agree with us that it's tyranny, give us a thumb down. If you like it, give it a thumb up and explain yourself in the chat. So that, I mean, you know, we listen to everybody. We entertain everybody's point of view, huh, Self?
Yeah, for the most part. Out the app.
Mimi said she thinks the Wi-Fi is okay now. Joey White, who's black, yeah, and it's he's a poser. He's laughing. Big ups, Joey. Appreciate you, bro. Call him Wheezy. He's from out west. He's one of the West Siders. We got a couple of West Siders in the building, huh? This is great. Got Smoke Park and Joe Weezy. So, all right. So that was tyranny in Self-Love's and I opinion. So let's go ahead and move on. Tonight's topic is fathers' rights and or wrongs. Okay. Let's jump into our what if they were black or what if they were melanated segment. This one under fair use, entertainment purposes only, educational purposes as well. This one's entitled Karen's Kid. And big ups to Inside Edition. Myself, Karen's Kid.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's video shocking all of America. A little boy in a diaper wandering around the hallway of his family's apartment building wielding a gun. And that's no toy gun. Authorities say it's for real. You could even hear clicks as he pulls the trigger. A security camera captured the terrifying episode outside Indianapolis. Neighbors called cops to report a child with a gun.
He was up the stairs, and that was when he looked down and pointed it at me and said something like, look what I got, ha ha.
Hello?
By coincidence, a camera crew from the Reels TV show On Patrol Live followed the officers as they went to check out the report and speak to the dad. The cops are about to leave, but then a neighbor plays the doorbell video for them. They return to the apartment.
We have video of your kid holding a gun.
They look around.
He said he doesn't personally own a firearm, but his brother does, and leaves it here.
Then they find the weapon inside a roll-top desk.
Smith & Wesson SD9 to 9mm.
The dad, Shane Osborne, was taken into custody, charged with child neglect. I spoke to prosecutor Ryan Mears. When you watch the video, it sure seems like this 4-year-old is pretty comfortable handling this gun. It's almost like he's familiar with it.
No question. I mean, I think it's a reasonable inference that child had possessed that firearm on previous occasions. And that child is actually the one who directed the police to the firearm inside the residence.
Mears says the little boy actually has a nickname for the gun, a pew pew. I guess he was calling it like pew pew, the way like a kid would make a gun sound.
The gun sound, correct.
Tragic. That's crazy, is what that is. Wow.
Yeah. So, we're not going to bash the child, obviously. But the neighbors were saying that wasn't this child's first time out there packing that thing.
Yeah, thank God it wasn't loaded.
He could be the reincarnation of one of those shooters, for all we know. I mean,
This day and age, the way everything is set up, video games and such, he probably knows how to dismantle and put the gun back together at that age.
Yeah, I hope that kid didn't get a beating because he went in there and showed 12 what a stick was and everything. No, Dad doesn't know. I know what a stick is. I keep the stick right here. You know what I mean? Now, I think if he was some sort of melanated, they'd be talking about charging this child as an adult, sent him to a man's penal system.
Yeah. And the dad definitely, it wouldn't have just been an arrest for that out the app. They'd have took the child, put him in the welfare, not the welfare system, I'm talking system.
Foster care.
Yeah. He's right. Foster care system out there.
Where's Karen, by the way? I see the father doing his thing, and that's what this show is on, Yeah. I didn't hear any mention of Karen
at all. She must not have been home.
No mention of Karen.
She had been home, she probably been arrested too.
Yeah. Might be some MEP involved.
Yeah, that child's a little too young to be outside by himself, let alone playing with a gun.
Hey, what are the chances of MEP being involved?
Well, looking at Dad's photo, likely.
I call it mathematics. So we got 2 thumbs down, 3. Bulk 3-pack.
And 4. It's A-Sid down as well.
Yakira gave it a thumbs up on the birthday post.
Oh, yeah, because somebody said happy birthday out there to her. In the Utley.
Hey, yeah, you're right, Ace. We don't know what's in the dad's heart. You know what I mean? Boy, I love those Triple K talking points, boy. They come with something. They know how to ram, don't they?
We know what wasn't in his sight. His child.
Take the gun, go outside and play, son.
Yeah, go out there and play with this. Here you go out there and play. Go and play.
Just keep the safety on. Here's the safety. Here's how you work it. Make sure it's, you know what I mean?
He was pulling the trigger like crazy. Probably destroying the firing pin.
Oh, yeah. When he needs that thing, it's going to lock up on him.
Bopo got it anyway, so.
Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing. So you guys like, share, subscribe. Tonight's show is Fathers, Rights, and Wrongs. We're going to jump to the Dome teaser, and then we're going to play the promo video. I'll call the potential guest while that's rolling. But tonight's riddle, also known as Dome teaser. Here we go, self-love. Into the chat. What breaks yet never falls, but what falls yet never breaks? One more again. What breaks yet never falls, and what falls yet never breaks? That's today's Dome teaser. We got some lively people in the chat today. I expect this to be resolved. We got some smart ones out there that can process information. Mimi said agreed, but at the same time, when you're a parent, you have to have the wherewithal to know how to keep your child safe. Yeah, facts. You got to have the intuition to keep that stick somewhere where, your son can't or your daughter can't go in there and get that gun. Bulk 3-pack said water. Let's see what never falls. Water falls. Bulk 3-pack. A waterfall. So water falls. So I tell you, great submission, but that is not what we're looking for out there. Self-love did not give us a thumbs up. I do see some typage in the chat. Self-love said water as well. Interesting. So you guys have more time to chew on this, as Brother Beckham would say. Chew on it some more. And if you guys don't figure it out, I'll give you the key at the end of tonight's show, today's show. Enough of the appetizers out there, self-love, enough of the appetizers.
Please leave your message for...
Getting voicemail, huh?
Let's quench the self-love nation's thirst.
But you went to voicemail on that?
Yeah, I called.
Yeah, I'll give it a call too. But yeah, all right. Roll it. Pick up some production. They do a lot. Yeah, I'm telling you. Already had Uncle Nearest and whatever's going on over there. We don't talk about what's in our cup.
Fellas, my problem is that constantly I receive phone calls and speak to dads who are claiming that their children's mom is keeping them from their children, right? They're not letting them see their kids, they're alienating them from their kids, etc., etc. And I get it because it happens all the time, all across the world. What I don't get, and what is very hard for me to swallow, is that when I ask, well, what are you doing about that? On about 50% of the time, I'd say that the response is essentially crickets.
You guys, next week on the Self-Love Show, it's going to be live. Well, we have to confirm the date.
We're supposed to, in this country, treat mothers and fathers the same with regard to custody. No one has a less equal position. However, when I practiced in the family court and then was later a judge in the family court, I found that law was honored in the breach.
So I'll just say this. Our next show, is entitled Paternal Rights or Wrongs.
Okay. I can, yeah, that'd be.
Most judges and most psychologists that served the court always thought that the mother was better. And I didn't always find that that was true.
But paternal rights or wrongs.
I can work with that.
Do you have a child? Yes. It's not your child. That he takes the child. He's the father no less than you're the mother.
Yeah, that's going to be a major topic. And, if anybody wants to check in, pull up, do hit us up. You can hit us in the comments, or you can text the 424-900-6945. Love to invite you to be part of the panel.
The most pervasive stereotypes about Black Americans is that of the absent Black father.
The absent Black father myth is the idea, the stereotypical and incorrect notion that African American fathers have very little contact with their children, if any contact at all.
Any fathers out there that's been struggling with paternal rights or going through any situations, regarding that, it's something that needs to be unpacked specifically for the melanated B1 foundationally Black community.
And in Black America, the reality of being fatherless is perhaps most painful.
73% of all Black babies are born out of wedlock.
Experts say there's a crisis when it comes to Black fathers in this country.
Facts of the carbonated beings.
Yeah.
You got to put it all together.
Loves are, and crime to even police violence.
Well, it's because Black families are on welfare.
But this idea that Black fathers aren't present in their kids' lives is actually false.
Yes, so we're calling out to all dads, even from you as well, if you want to be part of the panel, pull up.
When compared to white or Hispanic fathers, Black fathers were actually more likely to be involved in their children's lives in almost every way. They were even more likely to have bathed, diapered, or dressed their kids, eaten a meal with them, played with them, helped them with homework, and taken them to and from activities. And a lot of when Black fathers didn't live with their children. But if we go solely off of what we see in the news media,
where's your dad?
Tough Love said we need to decide on a day and a time, p.m. Chicago time. Can't happen due to the plantation that I'm a part of and them making unilateral decisions. That all. Did you have anything else on that, Tough Love?
Hey, we're going to have to.
Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.
Do you still have them?
All right.
Yes.
I'm getting. Oh, I'm not sharing this. I'm getting.
You're back.
Getting reports that my Wi-Fi sucks. But that being said, I guess it's a Sunday. Everybody's at home sucking up the bandwidth, huh, Self?
Could very well be.
Yeah. But I've learned in my new position at work, they're teaching me more tech stuff. And I do have an Ethernet cord. I think I'm just going to start, like for these shows, hardwiring everything. That way it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, should work faster.
Yeah. I got the cord, just not using it. Bought it for the PS, was it 4 or 5, whatever it is. I don't use. If anybody wants to buy a PS5 or whatever, let me know. I can get you at a good price, very good price. We got to meet at the police station though, because I don't trust you pookies out there always trying to steal people's stuff. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I got voicemail too. So we're gonna the show must keep going on. So yeah. So if you guys haven't been involved with the Self Love Show, our show is simply designed to tell our unfiltered history. We like to get it straight from the proverbial horse's mouth. We're going to dispel the myths of absentee Black fathers. We're also going to get into some reasons why the absent ones may be absent, why they may become inactive. Why are moms given so much control in these paternity disputes, and rights fathers should expect to receive while paying child support? And do Black fathers get a fair shake in family court and resources for Black fathers? So that's what we're breaking down here today on the Self Love Show. So, Brother Wordsmith, into the chat, let's discuss the myth of absentee melanated fathers versus pinks and any other race. That was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually the opposite. We are the most attentive by far. It's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
That blew my mind when I started digging down this rabbit hole.
Yeah. I had dug down that a while ago.
Oh, you had your suspicions.
Well, I kind of knew. I was like, it didn't make sense. I knew so many people that wasn't with their ex, that was, they wasn't living in the same place, and was highly involved in their children's life.
Well, I'll tell you, yeah, even like the brothers, and the regulators, all the guys. Yes, we're all striving to walk on water and be the best version of ourselves we can be, but I do find that all my guys, it's a high number. I can't think of someone that's not at least in the child's life, whether vis-a-vis financially and or physical presence. So this is weird because even our comedians get out there and stand on stage, coon it up, talking about Black dads. I mean,
well, there's okay.
Go ahead, bro. My bad. Go ahead.
There are a certain amount of guys that don't do anything, and they tend to have, children by multiple women. And that,
you talking about the player with the alligator shoes sitting at the hole in the wall
or
bar?
Future, the rap guy, Future, him, like him,
Yeah, big ups to Future. I'm sure they're getting some bread. They're getting some of his bread though. No?
Him, it's a issue because he doesn't like. Well, they got to go to court and all of that stuff.
They got to extract it from him. Yeah. He's an isolated case.
He's an isolated case, but this is the case that they put forth in front of everybody. As representing all of us. That's the issue, and that was the whole point of pointing him out. Big ups to Future.
Yeah. Sharuka said that song is about to drive me crazy. All right, we might get some other stuff in rotation. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was one of those Ron Hardy joints. Ronnie used to actually beat that Sharuka. All right, so well said, Self. I mean, and I'm not putting your business out there, but I mean, upstanding father. I mean, you know, whether it's distance or whatever. I mean, everybody I know, and I thought, to be honest, I was like, well, our generation is doing a much better job than the previous generation, but that isn't even necessarily true.
No. I mean, they pick the most extreme cases and then make that the norm.
I see what you're
Instead of
saying.
looking at.
They pick a person everybody knows who may not, and we don't have all the details of their cases, but may not be doing the right thing, so to speak.
Right.
And then they put that all over the news and the TV and TMZ and stuff.
Yeah. And so Kevin Samuel was pointing out that, like, most
Rest his soul.
black men are not that, and you know there are exceptions, and I don't get it totally. Like, if you meet up with somebody, you decide to get with them, and they got 5 baby mamas, then what's the odds that you're gonna be wife or you're gonna be 6 baby mama, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Busty Bus was talking about that too. My mama's cooking. What's his name?
Kwame Brown.
Yeah, Kwame Brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he has to fight tooth and nail, to even. We'll get into that. We got to get into that. But what's the motivation in your mind? Why does big media, Hollywood, the movies, TV, or comedians who run out there to, shuck and jive for checks? Why are we portrayed that way?
Well, we're portrayed as the lowest form of human life, or so-called human, because we're not human, but it's another story. So-called human life. They want to portray us to everybody as we are the worst of the worst, so they can do whatever they want to us at any time, and it's acceptable.
And then have the scapegoat, so to speak, and that's the black man.
Yeah. I mean, it's acceptable to treat us any way, shape, or form because we are the worst form of life.
They did that to the small hats, the so-called Jews, during the Holocaust, leading up to the Holocaust. Portrayed them the same way.
Oh, yeah, the Jewish?
Yes.
Jewish,
yeah. Which was already happening to us. Let me just throw that out there.
Well, it happened to us before them in Germany.
Correct.
The first people that they experimented upon in concentration camps and such.
Yeah, 100% right. It was 100% right. Try not to be upset this early in the morning on a Sunday, but this kind of rubbing me in a certain way, bro. Like, and you hear us because, not you and I per se, but because we're immersed in this narrative, you hear like many fathers who are doing the right thing chirping this narrative.
Yeah, it's a complete narrative. Like, it's the narrative like that we're our own worst enemy. And nothing can be farther from the truth. A lot of us have been conditioned because this narrative, it doesn't go back as far as they would like to say, because 50s and 60s there was a lot of us moving as one, much more than now, and a lot less of us killing us.
Interesting. And to the chat, you guys, why do you think, if you have anything to add on to this topic, why do you think the media is portraying us this way? I know we have a lot of potential moms in the demo, and if their individual situation could be where they have a absentee type dad, they would obviously, have a bias. I don't know if it's a justified bias, but they would have a bias But normally, once people grow up and are able to communicate with the father, which we'll get into, they start seeing more. But self love and I, we've had this discussion in the past. I don't happen to be a dad, so I'm giving you guys lectures, not lections, not lessons. But I'll tell you this much: I have, said, and it was mentioned in that promo video. That's why I put it in there. The sister, she said what I've been saying. I do hear fathers say, well, this and that, the baby mama won't. And I've told you, there's not a woman on this planet that can keep me away from my
Or
seed.
law, or any man-made anything.
Correct.
That can keep me away from what me, another person, and the Creator brought here through the portal.
Correct. Well, that being said, though, we're not excuse makers. There are no excuses, just like there is no fear. But let's talk about some issues. And I want to hear from the dads out there. Some issues facing Black fatherhood. Now, we are doing the best out of any demographic, even the Asian self. We outfathered the Asians on that report. And that came from Al Jazeera Network, and they tend to, pump out. They don't just push narratives, in my opinion. They pump out the truth. And, and it's looked at as like a terrorist network. That's the way it's tried to be portrayed. But they pump out truth and give data. That being said, though, what are some issues facing Black fathers?
Black mothers is number one. The Black mothers act like because it didn't work out between me and you, that should interfere with me and my children. Holding the children as hostage, use them as tools to achieve their means or whatever they're trying to do, and not putting the child's interest first.
And I'd concur that, and I'd also add to that, bro, for those moms that have moved on, so to speak, and gotten a new father or stepdad in the picture, got married or whatever, some of it could be coming from them as well. I'm saying the stepdad's insecurities, but it's no excuse for the mother. I mean, it's got to be the child's interest first, 100%. Because, many people have said, Black men need to be there for young Black boys. And I would say it's probably just as important, or even more important, for us to be there for our daughters.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, our children, they imitate what they see to become what they see. And fatherless homes usually produces a strong Black woman, which produces a weak Black male and a strong Black daughter. And it takes the balance of relationship out of order. So balance is needed for male and so-called female children. So they need balance. They need to see, they need to feel they're both parents. They need to see that. And interaction that's good. They need to see that.
That's well said. And then we've talked about, we've done shows on it, incarceration, underemployment. That can affect the Black male, since we're at the bottom, so to speak.
Well, initially, the welfare system. If we look at the welfare system, welfare for white people was, the so-called farmer act, where they encourage them to have children, they encourage the man to be there and all of that. At the same time, where they had welfare for the black family, they said that the black man couldn't be there. Said we could not be in the home or living in the house.
Yeah, and even that myth, what you said was true. I need to point out that we're not the ones sucking up all the welfare by any. That's another lie. So I'm just saying, even for the fathers and the mothers that aren't participating in the welfare thing, back to your point about the moms, I think many black mothers, um, you know, if if that nigga, if that N word ain't, buying the milk and the Pampers, you don't get to see the baby, um, and that can have a psychological effect on any man, any person. Let's do a thought experiment. Let's say if I had a deadbeat mom, right? And the court saw it, and who am I? And I mean, go in your heart. Who am I to say that just because you might be down on your luck, or you don't have a job, or you might be living with your parents, or whatever your situation may be, that I'm going to rob my children's ability to interact with their mother, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's unconscionable.
I was having this discussion with our potential guests, and that's why I wanted them on here, and we got some stuff in the chat I'm gonna go through. But he said, because I was saying, we were having a discussion about, what a brother from another chapter want to be an honorary, Greater Beta Nu. And then there was some stuff about, well, no. So I said, well, I've had kids say, I wish you were my daddy. But he said that in his experience, though, and you may have noticed be true, not in your situation, but even children who are in abusive parental situations.
Love their mama.
Yes.
The mama can't do no wrong.
Yes.
Could be the worst of the worst.
And the father could be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
They want to have the love from that created them.
Yeah.
And he said he finds that to be factually true. And that's why, really wanted him on here. But, we switched dates, what have you. I got voicemail too, so.
Everything shut down, so.
Yeah. So, Joey White said both are needed. Women and men think differently. Yeah, it's tough to say that on the internet, in today's climate of narratives, but I'm going to agree with that. And that's the balance you were talking about, Self.
Yes.
There's certain ways a mother, the nurturing and things of this nature. And then there's certain mindsets that a good father, a strong father has as well. Nurturing may be punishment. You know what I mean? That's a form of nurturing.
It is. I mean, but nurturing comes from both sides. And, it ain't the
Correct.
same exactly, but it's still nurturing all the same.
Correct. And I think oftentimes, fathers are concerned with the bottom line as well. Do we need to have this $3,000 birthday party, for the kid with the clown and the horses? And we can potentially be putting that $3,000 in the bank and maybe getting the child a college fund and things of that nature.
Facts.
Ace, which you guys, the Mouthpiece Included, it's going to start live immediately after the Self-Love Show. Ace, who's the co-host, says it's sometimes lust. This is a great point of view. I wouldn't have thought of this. It's sometimes lust that creates that seed, and everyone can't be a parent. However, those that try should be encouraged. Yeah, So, you're out there and you had a bang bang, you know what I mean? Hit or quitter. And then next thing you know, there's a package on the way.
Happens a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. Obviously, it's happening in other communities more than it's happening in ours. That just blew my mind away. I mean, I don't know why I'm so shocked that the narrative has been a lie.
Yeah, everything is a lie with these people that control the narrative.
Facts. Facts. So what are some solutions that you could think of for these issues facing us now? The first thing you said was the mothers. Counseling, maybe?
Could be. I mean,
Parent counseling,
it
not
could be
wedding.
some factual
Yeah.
promotion of data that, so that it's not even viewed that way. But if we're looking at the issues that we do have and solving that, we have to, come together and realize what is the most important thing of our whole interaction, and that's the child and growing and improving the child. And that's the coming together we need. You don't have to be coming together between the parents, but we have to come together to best do what's right for our child.
Yeah, that's well said. Again, if you're a single dad and then now you got a new woman and the woman is telling you she don't like your kid's mother coming around and spending, that's like, it's kind of to Joey White's point how men and women think differently. Like, get out my house. I mean, that would be my immediate remedy to that situation. Also, to the point about welfare and underemployed and unemployed, brothers out here, you got to do better. Even if you're flipping burgers or at Walmart, there's really, I mean, unless you have some sort of mark on you, which you can get cleared up as well, and we'll get to that towards the end of the show. Mark being, felony on your record or something like that. But I mean, this is America. You can get a job. You can. However, this was kind of touchy. Spike Lee spoke on it. What was that movie he did about Chirac? Had no business doing that movie, Small Ups. But he was talking about women choosing better. And I think you were kind of going into that. You got one slick talking alligator shoe wearing, brim hanging out at the local hole in the wall with 13 babies by 7 different baby mothers. That's not only just on him for being a scumbucket, but come on, self.
That's what I said. Like, if you're, he's got 5 baby mamas and 12 children. I mean, you think you're not going to be 60? You think he don't want to spread his seed as far and wide as he can? That's it,
And his name ain't Eddie Murphy, where he can write these checks and support them all, at least financially.
Man.
It's tough, as a man, to put all the responsibility on the mothers, because I can't imagine, what they're going through, in situations where there's physical abuse or psychological abuse. But oftentimes, just me getting secondhand information, there's a butthurt mom, and we're talking about solutions. Self said it perfectly. Swallow your pride for the sake of the next generation. And even for the men, You know, she might be calling you all kind of names and bums when you go pick the babies up. Swallow your pride for that generation. All right, we got some more hubbub in the chat.
I'll be right back.
All right. Yakira said, I have seen powerless people, male and female, use the child to control or have power over the other party. Yeah, it's like a bargaining chip, Yakira. And we have to understand that that child wants both parents' interaction, needs both parents' information and interaction. You know, to Ace's point, if it was a hitter and quitter and, you know, we went out there and made a baby with somebody that might not be up to our standards, then, well, you got to deal with that. You know, that's all the more reasons why you want to be in that child's life for that balance that self-love was talking about. Yakira said, it has even happened with grandparents. A child may feel like they finally have control over the grandparent through the grandchild. Oh, yes, I have seen that too. I think you're saying, yeah, that's awful. That is awful. You know, if you don't pay my car payment, you ain't gonna see your grandkids. I do see and hear about that. That is bizarre. It's not a man thing or woman thing. It's a powerless people thing. And then, yes, and when you're talking about a topic like this, it's very emotionally charged. You know, whether you're male or female. I mean, you have some one-offs that might be sociopaths and you could care less about how their child feels. Those people do exist. But those people need their own counseling on their own. But definitely an emotionally charged issue as far as the feeling of powerlessness self.
Yeah, I agree. Agreed. There's a lot going on and it's an issue. And we got to figure it out. Like, they're teaching us, guiding us, and directing us to move away from our children' best interests to be able to take care of them. And it's a huge problem. We need to be with our children and teach them our values as opposed to have them learn them from these institutions that we have no control over, namely schools, the indoctrination centers.
Glad you mentioned the schools, and that's a matter of will and want to. And it's easy for me to say because I'm not walking in anyone's shoes, so believe me, I'm not judging. But if you do have a child out there and you haven't pushed back from one parent, as long as there's no legal restraining order involved or anything like that, what they call that, with the visitation and it's got to be monitored or what have you.
Yeah.
There's nothing prohibiting the parent that doesn't live with the child from showing up to the school, talking to the principal and the counselors, you know, and saying, hey, you know, I'm the father of this child. You know what I mean? Introducing themselves and talking about the education. You can CC me these emails about how the child is doing in school. You can pick your child up from school, take him or her to lunch, or you know, and things like that. And how are things at home and things. There's nothing prohibiting that outside parent from doing that. That's a matter of will and want to.
Agreed.
And I think those are some of the things that a lot of mothers, I guess, would like to see happen just naturally, but everybody's not built the same. And I would suggest instead of, you know, saying these things out of anger and when you're having a fight, because it's not going to come, it's going to fall on deaf ears. You want to, say it in a different way, and don't say it accusatorial, don't make an accusation out of it, because 9 times out of 10, people are going to put walls up. They're not going to do it just because you said they, said to do it. Don't tell them to do it. I guess, if that makes sense.
It's got to be an agreement.
Yeah. Now, Joey White said this has been happening from the beginning of time. Yakira said lack of consistency is another reason. Changing the mindset of people is what needs to happen. Some people feel like if you can't be consistent, then don't come at all. Children need consistency. Yeah, I've heard that. Yes, I have heard that. But I'll say this, that alienates a lot of men, a lot of fathers. Because if you give the ultimatum, if you can't come here consistently, don't come at all, then many are going to honestly feel like, well, this inconsistent presence is more harmful to the children than what?
Than the presence. And I disagree with that. They need consistency, even if it's inconsistent consistency.
Yeah,
They
in an
need
ideal
both
situation,
parents.
they need
both
consistency.
parents.
But yes, yeah.
Inconsistent consistency. If they consistently inconsistent, is still better than not at all, which is what that's saying. It's saying, if you can't come, then don't come at all. The don't come at all part doesn't work at all. That's the bad part.
Correct. Now, there could be something to say, I'm calling the child and I'm saying, yeah, I'll be there for your birthday party. And I'm be there to pick you up and take you to the movies. And then not coming. I think that needs to stop.
Yeah, that's an issue for sure.
Now, if you're calling every blue moon, which needs to be better, but if but you are doing what you're saying you're going to do, and the child isn't sitting there, waiting for you and being disappointed, and then that parent who's there, has to deal with the fallout.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'd rather do without that. Let's see. Wheezy said, all my children teachers have met me. Hey, and Wheezy's not a small guy, boy. You know what I'm saying? Wheezy showing up. Hey, I'm listening. If I'm part of the educational staff, you know what I mean? Yes, sir. Whatever you want, sir. And that's a presence that can't be denied. Whatever y'all might be doing to these other kids, y'all need to stop. But this one here is mine. Same way you'll go on the block and you tell all the pookies and the generals and the regions and whoever's calling it, this one's mine. Much respect due. Yakira said parents need to grow up and do the right thing as families, whether or not they are together or not. Facts. They are family once they have children together. Doing the right thing as a family is what's best for the child and the family. Fathers need to be fathers, just like mothers need to be mothers. And who's defining these roles, Self? Does the mother define the father's role?
It's been indoctrinated into us, these roles and what's supposed to be done and all that. That's my look into, deep dive into antiquity doesn't have these roles defined as they are. So that's another issue with us rotating around it.
Well, now we got misgenders now. You got the women calling each other bro.
All the time, bro. What the hell?
Yeah, I watched a video of the Army lady, rest her soul. She was an MP who got murdered. It's a big investigation going on. And she was talking to her family about how she got abused. And she was saying, bro, talking to her like her mom and her grandmother. Like, I couldn't get away with stuff like that coming up, Self. I could not call my grandmother bro.
Well, this whole cancel culture and the way this culture has developed that, because they had set roles and words that meant what they meant, and these words are so ambiguous and don't mean nothing. They changed the pronunciation and how to spell it, and it's a whole different situation.
Man. All right. So we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back and conclude the show because we only got about 35 minutes max to close this out because the big games are coming on, and fathers want to be in front of the TV watching the game with the kids quiet, playing whatever, get out, I'm watching the game. You know what I mean? I'm not a dad for anybody who wants to call child services. You're wasting your what?
Time out there. Mills wouldn't have his son out there with that gun playing in the hallway.
Oh, no. No. He'd probably be watching the game with me, so. Yeah.
Yo, y'all know what it is. The Self-Love Show. Unpacking fathers' rights and wrongs. How they got us looking and all of that. Thank you so much for your interaction. It's been a blessing. We have a couple great videos for you to check out while we get to stretch our legs or what have you. They're very important though, and very much filled with value. Check them out and we'll be right on back. It's halftime. But no one had used less clothes, man.
No, yeah, he verified.
Fact.
He's a Chi-Town cat. That's for damn sure.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Hey, bro,
Yes,
but
sir.
hey, Scooter. Hey, if you ain't got nothing else for us, bro, we don't kick no silverbacks out, man. And Self-Love and I, we appreciate you doing this, sir.
Man, appreciate y'all for giving me the opportunity, man. For sure.
Love, honor, respect.
Hey, big ups, and bro, show yourself out, and we love you for this, bro.
Man, appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for having me, man. Been an honor. Scooter Chose, be looking out for that new album. The part 2, Wonder Years, another classic, bro. All Our Tears, we coming. Check me out, download the first one, and man, follow me on Instagram at Scooter Chose on all platforms.
You know what I'm saying? And one thing I could say though, man, like how y'all moved was you described it right. You know, it was respect. It was respectful. You know what I'm saying? And y'all, man, was like that first generation in my mind. And Self-Love, you know, check this, but that first generation of, you know, I don't want to call them renegades because they still had respect, you know, for the folks. Good.
Yeah, but it was the birth. It was a birth. It was a birth. It was a birth of us becoming new East Side landlords. You feel me? So with all that whipped in the pot, you know, you got the new East Side landlords coming on. So now you got Bump, Big Ups, you know. Now you got G Herbo, Big Up,
Big Ups.
You know, Euclid, 75th.
Man,
sitting on the porch all the time. You know what I mean?
Come on, man. No
doubt.
doubt.
You know that from then to now, we have elevated what we started. You know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we support that.
Hey, I go ahead if y'all got some more to add. Cause
man, it's a blessing. This young brother is amazing talent, and
thank you.
And he you know, had the rough around the edges lifestyle. You know what I mean? He didn't come up like that, like everybody. You know what I mean? He'd take care of himself. Him and his They took care of themselves right over here by my crib, right here. I witnessed it, like, you know what I mean. And I also know that it wasn't their choice. Like the old heads, they was out of there. They got arrested or sent away or killed, and you know they was kind of left on an island, and you know, and they did what they had to do. Much respect, salute.
Hey, but I want to say one.
This ain't no exploitation.
What's going on? This is Cotton.
Stoned is the way of the wild.
Do you still
got
have
mine?
them?
Is the way of the wild.
They got some new music coming out too.
Oh, I gotta cop that. Is the way of the wild.
Yeah.
I'ma show the world what they don't know. I'ma be the one.
I'ma be the one when I'm done. He ain't lying, y'all. If I made it this far, I'll go
higher.
If I made it this far,
I can make it anywhere.
Yes, sir. Welcome back. Y'all know what it is. The Self-Love Show. Today we're unpacking fathers' rights and wrongs. And y'all know how it's been going on. We've been having a great conversation and interaction with the chat going down. Thank y'all so much for being here. It means a lot to us to help to expand the Self-Love Nation. We are going to go even further and talk more in depth. Got some new angles to hit you with, so stay in. Key with us.
Hey, facts. And that brother, big ups to John Jacobs, man. Jacobs.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
I always
sir.
thought that was his first name. I didn't know he was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On the block, they called him
Yeah.
Jacob. Yeah. John Jacob, Jingle Irishman. His name is my name too. But big ups to him. Like, many of us may not have had fathers. I know your dad had passed away, present fathers. But he's been there and you've been there, you know, for y'all. So big ups. And just like Yakira said, she gave a big ups to Joe Weezy.
Yeah.
She likes that he steps up, makes it known that his kids are his and that the teachers have met him. That is a man. Yes, that's a father. Also, a man being a father, good stuff to the brother who said that. So, yeah, big ups to all you guys out there that's stepping up to the plate and not drawing off excuses. So, Trife Mack, another one. You know, father.
Yeah, he don't play about his.
No. That was one thing, though, man, being over there east.
Yeah.
Didn't too many people play about this. No.
Nope.
All right, so we got to get it rolling because, you know, Ace is going to be waiting to start the next show. So let's push on. I know getting that feedback. It ain't you, it's me.
Might have been me before because I thought I was going through my interface and I wasn't. That's why I was like, wait a minute, you heard that? When I said you heard that, because, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was hearing all kind of stuff, like even the voicemail. Yeah, I'm like, okay.
No, the voicemail was on accident. I thought I hit that off before I came on. I came on, and it's still on. I'm like, that was my phone, but the other stuff was through the computer, and I was, yeah.
All right. So why do you think the courts slant in favor of the mother? And I'm going to say this, whether it's controversial or not, especially since it's the mother's choice, going along some of those things we've been talking about. Ultimately, it's the mother's choice to rear the child. What's this all about?
That might have something to do with it, but I don't. It's a reason why they're putting the women in the higher priority, and it's
The black woman or just overall women?
overall.
Okay, go ahead.
In this situation, and it's nefarious because especially white or men, they don't value their women at all. So it seems counterproductive. It's a way of having the system take care of your responsibilities.
Yeah, because Judge Judy even said that the law is supposed to be balanced. It's supposed to be equal rights for both parents, but she said she sees in her, when she checks case history, that is absolutely not the case.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's absolutely to have the system take care of people that don't want to take care of their responsibilities.
So let's say you're a dad, and let's say one is a father, and they're on child support. What rights should these fathers expect to garner?
That's interesting because I'm not exactly sure. There's a guy in Chicago area, Jeffrey Levine, that's his whole law. Well, I don't know if it's his whole law practice, but he's got a large law practice on fathers' rights.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah, it's kind of I don't know if it's what you can. It's supposed to be equal, so I don't know what. It's supposed to be equal. You can have shared custody.
So
you don't want to be in a instance where you're paying child support and you have no custodial rights.
Correct. But so normally I think the setup where you get weekend visitation, so then the mother gets to let her hair down and kick it every weekend while the father on his 2 days off is fathering, which is an honor for a father, don't get me wrong. And I think that's where some of the issue comes in. I don't know about this weekend visitation. I would do it, the visitation, the father has a child on, say Friday and Saturday, something like that.
It's not always weekend visitation. It's whatever you negotiate and have put in place.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not that but if you have to have you have to be a co-parent. You can't have no custodial rights, because if you don't, then even though you have an agreement, it's still up to the mother or whoever has all the custodial rights,
parent,
right, to be able to decide if you get to visit.
That's bizarre. And then you don't know what that custodial parent, what information that custodial parent is feeding the child about the other parent.
Right.
Whether it be positive or negative.
Right. I don't know what it is. It's not a good situation. So you want, ideally as a father, you want 50-50 custodial rights, so you can make, be at least talked to about the decisions that are being made for your children.
Yeah, but your new girlfriend can't be around when you're with the kids, according to the mother. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Man,
what is that all about, bro? Like, you got a new
a lot of them
he's
are
around
holding.
the kid. Go ahead.
A lot of them that on that don't have another man. They wasn't with the breakup, and this is they only control over that dude.
I think Yakira mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a bargaining chip.
Yeah. Period. Like that's the only control they have. They powerless in every other fashion.
Yes.
Dude's like, nah, I'm cool on you. I just want my baby.
Right.
Oh, well, we're a package deal and this and this and this and that.
Right. I even heard, and we talked about this even as young lads, bro. My car, my house, my baby, my.
Yes.
You need to come over here and bring some milk and diapers for my baby. And Judge Judy snapped on a lady who was saying that, a Karen.
I mean, that's their opinion. Like when you have
it's disrespectful, bro.
A woman like that. I mean, everything is there. I've experienced it. I've been in relationships where it was never our.
That's disrespectful. And coming from a fraternity where we're used to cooperative group living self, that's disrespectful. We might as well be at the Kappa house, and I'm like, what you doing in my house, Tori? You see how you laugh?
I mean, I'm laughing because that's how it is.
These are my pledges.
My letters. My fraternity. What are you doing? My. Well,
to use that my, then it would be, the onus would be then on you. The person's using the my to do all of the maintenance.
Well, it's those kind of people that saying they're self-made and do everything they self, and they got EBT, somebody paying for they rent.
I like these morning shows.
Giving them all their money. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, I'm independent. Independent of what? Or what do you mean independent?
Wordsmith is wily in the mornings. We haven't solidified our new times and everything, but this is working for me. And this morning scotch, not that I'm drinking it. It's a nice thing.
Hey, I'm just saying, I don't know, just saying, the same type of people. I'm talking about some independent, and they get everything from the government.
All right, so Self answered it well, and I would agree. 50-50, visitation. You have to want to be in your child's life, people. Do some deep soul searching if it's the case that you just want to pay the child support and feel like you're good. Which brings me to the next topic. What is more important? You're a dad. Gun to your head, that little pinky, the little kid's got the gun to your head, and it's all wild. The safety's not on. What's more important? And this is a question to men and women: the financial support or fatherly presence, boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground, by far. Boots on the ground. Children, they imitate what they see, not what paid for and who paid for it. I think it's more important if they don't have money for them to be there. Money is important and it can improve some things, but if there's just money and no presence, it's bad. It's almost as bad as, well, it's worse than being there with no money, in my humble opinion.
You know why I'm going to agree with you, and I've told this story on this show before. One of my Uber rides when I was doing Uber part-time, I had the small hat in my whip, and it was his daughter's 5th birthday. She ended up dropping him off at a nice house in an expensive area. But what she got for her birthday was pizza with her and her dad, and she got a racquetball. And her grandmother bought her a Barbie. That was her birthday. Which tells me that it's definitely boots on the ground, the presence. And that kid was just as happy. So she was happy about what she got. She didn't need all this crap that many of our mothers are demanding of the father, the Gucci shoes for the tyke, you know what I mean? All of this. If you're not Beyonce and you didn't father a child with Jay-Z, your child should not expect a $80,000 Barbie doll. Go ahead, Self. I got to fix my communication.
I'm just saying they shouldn't expect that. Their child shouldn't expect that if they have any value to bring to this earth. Their child shouldn't expect, extravagant gifts over time with their parents. They should value the time with their parents, because most cases they might be gone and moving about.
Correct. Moving and shaking. So I agree with that. Ace says definitely boots on the ground. Financial is important, but the adults got to work that out.
Facts.
Yeah. I mean, a child, if you're living in a box, as sad as this sounds, if you're living in a box under the freeway, I hear many children, and many of us as we grew up, I never knew we were poor. We have them on the self-love show. We never felt poor. I didn't realize I was poor, until later in life or what have you, quote unquote poor. Because you had that loving family with vis-a-vis grandparents, parents,
yes,
your siblings,
That's all you know. You only know what you know.
Yeah, you only know what you know. The love is the key. That's the key.
Facts.
I would agree. Boots on the ground. That presence, I hate to just go for security purposes too, but that's important as well.
Yes. I mean, secureness and understanding that we're together for a purpose of pushing us forward is a whole lot of congruentiveness that bring us together to make what we need to happen.
Yeah, congruency.
Yeah.
So I got one more, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Yakira says both are important. I think a good solution to the mindset problem is to have men create groups among each other to teach men how to be fathers. Yes. But then that, for balance, you would have to have the groups for mothers.
Teach mothers how to be mothers, because it's a
brilliant solution, Yakira.
It is.
And then those groups can sometimes intertwine, you know what I mean? Because we don't know what we don't know as men and as fathers. And the mothers don't know what they don't know as women and mothers. Separate groups, but then sometimes those groups have got to come together.
So she knows of one such group of men teaching men how to be fathers called Mr. Dad's Fathers Club.
Yeah, that's a powerful solution. We're a solution-based
solutionists.
Yeah, we're solutionists. I like that. And then we mentioned counseling too.
Yeah.
Parental counseling, I think, should be mandated by the courts in these, not just for the dad, not just for the mom, that you guys have to, sit down with some professionals and talk through certain things so that you have a third party there to keep somebody from throwing hot grits on the other party. Nobody likes hot grits thrown on them.
No one that I've encountered as of yet.
Yeah. Grits. That's why that song was so, what's her name? Arnoop put her on. What's her name? The singer. She did it. Grits. All the women love that. All right. Anyway, I can't think about it.
Oh, okay. I know who you talking about, but I know the Noop you talking about. Now I'm trying
But Mac Achiever, yeah, Mac Achiever put her on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve
Yeah.
McKeever.
Yeah.
All right.
Jill Scott, was it Jill
Yeah,
Scott?
that's it. Jill Scott. Yeah. Grits. She was talking about throwing grits on somebody. I knew what it was when I heard it. All right.
I don't know that I've heard that.
Yeah, that's her big song. And then she's got a moment in there where she goes, grits. They said Dovetail in Chicago helps young fathers. See, this is great.
Yeah, great information.
Yeah. And I would say most of us can't afford it, but there's got to be some pro bono work going on out there too, Self, where you can get yourself some legal help too. If
Got to be.
Yeah.
Because, man, I know it's got to be somebody helping our community against this system that is set up to keep us out of the way, to protect our children and our families. It's got to be some nonprofits and some, if it's not, we have to create some situations where we make sure that there's lawful, lawyers set aside to make sure that there's balance.
Yeah, and just like you can Google how to get those new Jordans, you can Google father's rights, in your state, and that can give you a rudimentary understanding of what should be happening as well.
Well, you got to figure out, because you need to check some resources, because you put up father's rights in in Illinois, and Jeffrey Levine's going to come up, I guarantee you.
Yeah, there's got to be some resources out there.
Yeah.
All right. All right, here we go. Last question. Do you feel foundationally Black American fathers get a fair shake in paternal court comparison to our white kinsmen?
I'm going to step out on a limb and say that, and it's not much of stepping out, that we are treated adversely in every single situation that there can be in every situation of court system.
Especially court. Right.
Yes.
Right.
So for 100% sure, yeah, we get the short end of the stick.
Yakira said she don't think Jill was referring to throwing hot grits on somebody. Yeah, she was talking about cooking or something. And grits. What's the name of that song? So
I don't even know.
Because I know
the
Self-Love.
song.
You heard it, Self.
Right, but I didn't pay attention to it. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. When I heard that, I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, she's about it. All right.
Oh, she was cooking grits and breakfast for a man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What's the name of the song, Yakira?
Yeah, it's a little delay. She'll get it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything on this? As a dad, that we haven't talked about that you want to unpack as we close it out?
No, just that balance is needed, and you're necessary. No matter what this society and system says, ignore it. You are needed in your child's life. Your child wants you there. And you need to come for them. You need to protect them to the highest level and impart on them the best qualities that you have.
Love it. Love it. And I'm not in a position to really chime in on this too much. But my spirit tells me to say, stop making excuses. Anybody could, make a baby, create a baby. We've got dogs and cats doing that, for God's sakes. But step up and by any means necessary, have some boots on the ground in your child's life, so that they don't end up being pookies and being a victim of the Triple K, because Triple K is trying to line those pookies up. Ace said Long Walk. I think that's the name of the song.
Okay, well, I definitely heard that.
Yeah,
Okay,
you heard that. That was that was like a big.
yeah, but I didn't really.
Grits. She was cooking breakfast. Shit.
Yeah, I don't remember that part at all.
All right, we gotta wrap this up. So the dome teaser, nobody got it. Self hasn't typed it into the chat, so it looks like I finally get to provide a key. But I'm gonna read it one more time, give you guys another chance. What breaks yet never falls, and what falls but never breaks? Yeah. Alrighty. Now we've had two answers that say water, but
it's 3.
Yeah, 3 said water. But there's a waterfall, so water does fall. So the key to the tonight's dome teaser, day and night. Day breaks and night falls. Alrighty. So what breaks yet never falls, that's day. And what falls yet never breaks, that's night. Alrighty. So you guys that put that, chew on that. Take that to the board and chew on it. All right. And we got our riddle answered. Now, our next week's show, Self Love and I, we've canceled it. We got a major event. Yakira said the name of the song is The Way.
Okay. Because I've never heard it.
Well, I didn't think Ace would have been.
Well, I never heard the grits part. I never heard that.
Yeah, that's the biggest part of the whole song. You need to sample it. Yeah. I didn't think Ace.
It is the way you love me, baby. Oh, the way. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think Ace would have known the name of the song.
Long walk though. She talks about taking a long walk in the song, but that's not the name of it. Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. Ace, let me find out you got Jill Scott in the rotation. All right. All right. So we haven't really. So next week's been canceled. You guys, we'll let you know what our new permanent schedule is going to be going forward. Self Love and I, we got some business. Immediately following this show, 15 minutes from now, we're going to launch Mouthpiece Included. The link will be in the chat. It's a live show. We talk politics, that's sports and politics. This is a very abridged show. This morning's show is basically going to be the championship game preview and predictions. Right now, Ace and I are both 7-1 out there, Self, with our playoff predictions. We're both 7-1 out there.
Okay.
So if you guys want to get some
Y'all
real
pick
knowledge,
the same games?
I think we did. Yeah, we both got the same loss.
Yeah, I had to.
Oh, he said DJ A-Sex. Yeah, I forgot he is the DJ. Wakil say, "What up, my guys?" Wakil, pull up to the Mouthpiece show. We got, we're gonna end it like right after kickoff because Self Love show ran a little late. We started a little late. We started on time. So, all right. So, you got anything to say here, Self, before we get to Wordsmith's final joints?
Hey, fathers get the short end of the stick. And the long end in the bum.
And all the lies by white supremacy. I'm glad that's been debunked.
Yes.
All right, well, enough of my yapping out here. I'm going to turn it over to this brother to my right for Wordsmith's final words out there.
Father's rights and possibility of wrong can't be processed because it needs to move the progress. You gotta be a father to your child.
Be a father to your child.
You gotta raise them up long as the river now. From beginning to the end.
Flesh.
And hope they can continue on and ascend. If you, like me, you came here to elevate your DNA, came here to display a different way, to portray us as elevated, melanated beings created by the everlasting being. Chips off the old block.
Old block?
Old block. Ode to the words that are said, frequencies that help us spread this information. We have 12 DNA cords. These people got 2.
Dos.
No way they can afford to tell us anything. We have to figure out how to really bring us all together. Not be no kings and queens. We're gods and goddesses.
Facts.
Creators, get rid of the imposters. They gotta go. So everything I was taught in South Show. And I'm bringing it to the whole universe. Otherwise, it's all gonna turn out worse than it was supposed to be, because I'm supposed to do what I'm supposed to do. Raise the consciousness, the energy, exposing you that fathers are as important as mothers. And I don't know what to say about anyone that feels other. You better look at them sideways. Because they are preaching the doctrine of the demon. They want you as a man to put your semen where it shouldn't go. You need discipline so that you know. Every hot nut is not a win. And when I think about some of it, it seems like the definition of sin. And I can't pretend to be all right with that. I want to raise our children with way more than Similac. Did you hear me? Because they Similac. We need to gain. We need to raise our children the whole proper way and grab hold of the rein. And not let someone else tell us our truth We need to bring it from deep within and impart it on our youth. And fathers can be right and fathers can be wrong. But mothers and fathers need to be singing the same song. And guard our youth, guide them through the arts of our palm. Words.
Words. And then we always say, African proverb, the child that is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. So it's going to take a whole tribe. Let's, get into our mentorship and be there for those who might not be as fortunate as we were or are. So big ups. All right, so y'all know what this sound means. Oh, and you can go to www.thedovetailproject.org for more information.
Do you think you are the one?
Honestly, I don't know.
You know what that means? It's Latin. It means know thyself.
Bullets are boomerangs, bro.
Stand your ground.
Murder is suicide.
Yeah, absolutely, man. An eye for an eye.
Silence is violence.
You see something, say something.
Fuck 12. Greed plus ego over fear. That's the theory of how you create a slave.
Well, I know for sure charity plus humility times love is freedom.
Amen. Do not answer questions.
But everything you hear, no matter where you hear it, question everything.
Fear is cap, man. Fear ain't real. It's all in your mind.
It's only love, so vibrate it.
And forgiveness is the highest love vibration.
Charity is near it, so do something charitable for a so-called enemy.
Let's get some donuts down there to the Gestapo, man.
Nah, I ain't talking about that.
They like Krispy Kremes and Starbucks. All right. Wise man once said, healthy people, heal thy people.
Yeah, because we know for sure that hurt people, they will hurt people.
Hey, free the old man. Free Larry Hoover, man.
Yo, to the gods. Free Jeff Ford, Chief Malik.
Free all the guys, man.
Yeah, absolutely, because prison is slavery.
Be like St. Pedro. Keep your gaze on Yahusha and walk on water.
Yeah, man, move mountains.
Move a mountain?
Absolutely.
A whole mountain?
Oh, yeah. The good books say, when the magic commence, that all we need is the faith of a mustard seed, and that just remove itself out the way.
Word?
Facts.
Thanks for supporting the Self-Love Show. Stay on board. We're kicking off Mouthpiece in 5 minutes after this show ends. Link will be in the chat. Pull up.
I'll let you in a little secret. Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love. You just know it. through and through, balls to bones.
Know thyself.